Pour hot water over a spoonful of instant coffee and it turns into a dark, steaming drink. It looks like a cup of freshly brewed coffee, but the two taste completely different. With a fresh brew, you get these bright, fruity, and chocolatey flavors with a really smooth texture. Instant coffee, on the other hand, just gives you a flat, bitter punch. And that difference isn't an accident. It's exactly how it was designed to be. So why does it taste so different? Why do factories choose worse tasting beans on purpose? And how is it secretly better for the environment? A coffee bean is basically just plant fiber, oils, and organic compounds. When hot water hits the grounds, it dissolves the flavors and washes out the aromatic oils. With brewed coffee, you drink this right away. That delicate aroma is actively evaporating into the air, which is exactly what gives you that amazing smell. But instant coffee is actually just dried, pre-brewed coffee. Factories roast, grind, and brew tons of coffee beans on an industrial scale to make a super strong concentrate. Then they dehydrate it completely to turn that liquid into shelf-stable crystals. For this, factories use two main methods. Spray drying shoots a fine mist of coffee down a tower of searing air, instantly turning the water into steam. Freeze drying takes that liquid, drops it to 40 below zero, and puts it inside a vacuum chamber. The vacuum drops the pressure so low that the ice turns straight into gas. It completely skips the liquid phase. But there's a major downside. Coffee's aroma is super fragile, so it easily evaporates during the process. When you blast a coffee with intense heat or deep vacuums, those flavors escape right along with the water vapor. The big factories pretty much ruin the flavor before it even gets packaged. You're just left with a heavy, bitter taste, without any of that crisp, fruity flavor. So why do companies do this? It all comes down to the beans they use. Most premium brewed coffee relies on Arabica beans. They grow at high altitudes and are packed with natural sugars and aromatic oils. Instant coffee makers, though, usually opt for Robusta beans. They're cheap to grow and pack twice the caffeine of Arabica, but they taste harsh and rubbery. If you tried using Robusta beans in a regular pour-over at home, it would taste awful. But the heavy processing of instant coffee actually helps. Getting rid of those flavors takes the edge off, leaving you with a basic, high-caffeine kick. And that makes it perfect for mass production. Plus, it saves a fortune on shipping. See, a normal cup of coffee is 98% water. When you buy whole beans, you're paying to ship that weight. Plus, you need grinders, filters, and counter space just to make a cup. Not to mention, an open bag goes stale fast. But instant coffee is a totally different story. By removing the water at the factory, the product becomes feather light and way cheaper to ship. You aren't shipping water, just pure coffee essence. This also makes it very stable. A jar can sit in your pantry for years without going bad. You get the exact same caffeine every time, requiring nothing but a cup and hot water. See, regular brewed coffee spent centuries evolving as a cozy social ritual, starting in 15th century Yemen and spreading through Ottoman coffee houses. But instant was invented to fix an economic disaster. In 1930, Brazil had rotting beans threatening to tank their entire economy. So they asked chemical engineers to figure out how to turn that ruined crop into a dry, stable powder. By 1938, they finally nailed the process. When World War II hit, it instantly became a staple wartime ration. Soldiers could now get a quick hit of caffeine right in the middle of the battlefield. Surprisingly, instant coffee is actually better for the environment. Brewed often relies on single-use filters or plastic pods that clog up landfills. Instant, on the other hand, leaves all that waste back at the factory. Those plants actually recycle the old grounds into biofuel to power their own drying towers. Plus, because it's so light, shipping it burns way less fuel than hauling regular beans. Lately, premium brands have started closing that flavor gap fast. by freeze-drying high-quality Arabica beans at a slower, gentler pace. But even with all its efficiency, instant still can't quite match the rich aroma and deep flavor of a fresh brew. At the end of the day, instant coffee is just a quick fix, while a fresh brew remains a total luxury.